You're very welcome back to Red Business in Focus with thanks to Cork's local enterprise offices, where we are bringing you all the business news, inspiring entrepreneurs and sharing business success stories. This week we're joined by Damien McDonnell, who's the owner of Ireland's leading cryogenic cleaning company called Polar IceTech. We're going to be chatting about how he has gained global recognition among some of their biggest customers, but also he's going to fill us in on his experience on the Green for Micro and Lean for Micro programs with the local enterprise offices. Damien, you're very welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Jonathan. Good to see you again.
We're going to get into those programs in just a minute, but to the uninitiated, you have 30 seconds on the clock to tell us about what you do.
Okay, so we specialise in dry ice cleaning. So we use solid carbon dioxide, which is carbon neutral media, and we accelerate it through a jet of compressed air. So we generally clean moisture sensitive or abrasive sensitive process and production equipment within multiple sectors, medtech right through to power generation, food and beverage. So we clean in situ, so the speed at which it cleans and the quality of clean is pretty significant. And we send teams across Ireland and to the UK.
Very good. So I love what you do, the way you describe it, because it's effectively you're using dry ice to clean things that are hard to clean, isn't it? I mean,
absolutely.
I know spraying it on isn't what you do, but how does it work? How do you actually get into those bulk tanks and clean them down? I
suppose a lot of what we do is if we're getting into vessels or tanks, it's a confined space entry. So we're, the training and the expertise and even the risk assessment part of that is a very significant important part of it. But the process itself, I suppose it's a three-step process without getting too technical, but we use compressed air, high quality compressed air. We accelerate it through a jet of compressed air and it freezes the contaminant on the surface, makes it brittle. It also kills bacteria. And then it changes, or it sublimates is the technical term. So it changes from solid to gaseous state. So it's quite unique that way as a cleaning media, that it has very unique and significant properties that makes it fast and very, very effective.
But I was going to say, when there's clean, right? But then there's clean.
Clean. Yeah, absolutely. And clean is very subjective, I suppose, depending on what industry you work within. Like, so in the food clean, it can be a lot different to the pharma clean or the medtech clean, So it really depends on what you're looking to clean or what you're looking to achieve. But a lot of the time it's all about downtime, the reduced downtime that dry ice achieves versus traditional cleaning methods.
And you guys work with really big clients, those whose reputations are on the line if something goes wrong. So they have to be able to say, we are certifiably clean as well. So that's where the expertise comes in. I'd imagine it's the kind of business that 20 years ago mightn't have been as significant as it is now.
Yeah, I suppose it's for a lot of industries. It's sometimes it's unknown, but we've worked really hard on educating, I suppose, industry and educating individuals. I suppose there's a very significant environmental impact as well compared to, again, traditional methods. A lot of toxic chemicals being used, a lot of water and waste being used. So I suppose a lot of how we market it and sell it is educating people, as I said, but also there has to be a return on investment, because it can look like it can be more expensive than traditional methods, but if you break all the costs down, then it's a lot more cost effective in most situations,
Yeah, well, dry ice is obviously, there's an element of carbon involved in this as well. So is there an environmental impact here that you have to be conscious of?
It's CO2, so it's captured from, I suppose, reclaimed and recycled. It's reclaimed and recycled, which is natural manufacturing processes create CO2. I suppose the purest form is in the fermentation in breweries, but also in the ammonia sites, we'll say, where fertilizer is made, and it's recaptured at source and it's transported. So look, it has a carbon footprint. It's classed as carbon neutral, but I suppose the transportation you need to be mindful of.
Yeah, but it's reused and that's not released into the atmosphere.
You're not adding any additional CO2 to the atmosphere. So compared to traditional methods, and as I said, I keep going back to the chemicals and the water usage, compared to that, it's unbelievably different.
People think of dry ice and they think of bands and dry ice being released on stage. Is it technically the same product?
It's the same media, yeah. It's the same source, the same. We just use it to clean as a cleaning media. I suppose globally it's used in many industries. The airlines would be the biggest user. So it's generally used as a refrigerant or for cooling. products, we'll say, but we just use it as a cleaning media. It has food grade certification as well, so this is why it's opened a lot of doors for us in the pharma in particular, I suppose, where and food and beverage, where there's direct product contact, you know.
Let's talk about the lean for micro first of all. Lean was something that was introduced to businesses as a concept a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I've never met a business that has undergone the process that didn't come out on a better footing after it, just to run the rule over everything that they're doing. How did you benefit from that program?
I suppose we benefited hugely, and our business is quite unique in a sense that because of the processes or what we do is quite lean. So that's a direct result of our services to industry, because I suppose what we do is reduce downtime and increase efficiencies, etc. So, but we never really had a program internally until we got involved in this program with Leo. So I suppose we've gone through about 3 programs now in particular. And consultants came in and looked at how we operate and how we run, and I suppose it opened up our eyes to even things like packing vehicles and how we flows of our unit, and how we set up on site, because it's all time and time is money, you know. So I suppose the biggest part of lean is reducing waste, I suppose, and time is can be the biggest waste. So it's been a fantastic program for us. It's opened a lot of doors for us, but also it has opened our minds, and we have very much a lean and continuous improvement mindset amongst our team now, you know.
We talked about the capture of the carbon dioxide and its reuse rather than being released into the atmosphere. A lot of the companies that you're dealing with right now are very much on the ESG train, so they're automatically going to look, how green are these guys?
Yeah.
Did Green for Micro, that program, the other program that you took part in, has that helped you in dealing with those big customers?
We haven't seen that coming through yet, but I suppose you're right that they do go looking. I mean, we've a lot of potential new customers, and you have to fill out these PQQs, and a lot of those questions can be around, you know, give us some information on your sustainability plan, I suppose, or your strategy for the next 5 to 10 years. And I suppose up to now we didn't really have a set strategy. So I suppose the Green for Micros was one of those things that we looked at, and how can we or where is our carbon footprint, I suppose, firstly, and what can we do to offset it. So we've done a number of things, and look, up until we got involved in that, like a lot of companies, you know, there are people just jumping on the bandwagon, or companies jumping on the bandwagon and just saying we have a sustainability strategy, but they don't, I suppose. So we've joined up with the Climate Change Hub, which again is accountability for us, I suppose, you know. So the proof is in the pudding, as they say.
People are looking to find out more about the business. What's the website?
It's Polar IceTech Ltd
Damien McDonnell of Polar IceTech, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
That's it for this week's episode of Red Business in Focus. Join us next week for more, with thanks to Cork's local enterprise offices.